Hey, what is going on, you guys? The Real Sakurai back here with once again another reaction. In today's reaction, we are doing part 2 of MatPat's travel to Japan. And this one is called Game Theory Presents Lost in Japan Arcades MatPat's Global Gamer Part 2 of 2. I cannot wait to see this. So without further ado, let's get on into it and enjoy it.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Global Gamer. Now, just as a reminder, this is a 360 video adventure. So if you're on a phone, look around you. If you're on a desktop, click and drag your mouse around the screen. And if you're in a VR headset, well, you probably know how all this works already, so just enjoy the video. When last we left off this globe-hopping adventure, I had finished my first day in Tokyo, mistaking a kindergarten for a shrine, getting sent by to notice me and then beating me upside the head in kendo, and catching and subsequently freaking out over a fish. It was an eventful first day. If you missed it, make sure that you click that eye icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen to catch up. But with a much better understanding of Japan's traditional culture, day 2 in Tokyo was all about the games. The places people play, where they're playing, and why Tokyo is such a mecca for the arcade scene. But before hitting the arcade, I made a stop off to meet my modern cultural expert for the day, Rin, who's actually a world-famous model and fashion expert. She agreed to show me around the neighborhood.
I've heard about her. Somewhere on, yes, I think it was somewhere on Facebook or Twitter. I've heard about her. She's really cool.
I hoped I could learn a thing or two and pick up some fashion advice on the side. Hey, Rin, Junyan, thank you both so much for meeting me today. Thank you. So this is the Harajuku neighborhood?
So Harajuku is a place. It's become a sort of safe haven or a safe spot for people to express their creativity and their fashion sense without much like judgment.
You know all those crazy, bright, anime-style clothing that you see people show when they talk about Japan? Well, all of that is originating from the Harajuku district. But there was another reason that I wanted to come here, and
Harajuku district.
To talk about gaming.
There is a term called 2.5 dimension, and originally...
That reminds me of like a top-down perspective video game that like pretends to be 3D but isn't actually.
No, well, it's kind of. It's literally like where reality 3D world meets the fantasy 2D world at a midpoint. And for fashion, this is where Harajuku is.
Yeah.
That midpoint is the 2.5 dimension here.
She then went on to say that when it came to video games, that 2.5 dimension was found in a different neighborhood, Akihabara, home to all things arcade and anime. But before we headed there, I hijacked one of the coolest stores in Harajuku, 6% Doki Doki, where the theme is over-the-top kawaii, or basically overload. Fuzzy pink earrings, penetrating its way through the wall, double check. It was literally the embodiment of this concept of 2.5D, making something that should only be a fantasy into a complete mind-blowing reality. And while Harajuku does this for fashion, another area of Tokyo, Akihabara, is the place for all things gaming and arcade. But before I headed out to that part of town, I couldn't just leave without a little Harajuku makeover of my own.
That is dope.
I really like this outfit. I gotta say, did
I do too.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Not too bad. Thank you. The shop girls and guys were able to help me fit in with the store a little bit better and pick out some pretty sweet duds while they were at it. Not duds so much. Is it swag now? Is swag the new term? I don't know. Regardless, I looked good. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. With my new clothes all bagged, Rin and I made our next stop in Akihabara, specifically Club Sega, one of the most famous arcades, or as they call it. Oh
man, I'm jealous. MatPat, I'm jealous. You went. Oh, look at that building. Look at that building.
Strip. Arcades are actually the games that you play. The game center is the equivalent of the building. And when I say game center, I mean gaming mega center. Because each of these arcade buildings is 8 to 12 stories high. And each corner is packed with arcade cabinets. Usually the game centers are divided by floor based on the types of games. That way...
Okay, so... the basement floor is fighting games, first floor claw games, second floor racing games, third floor fighting games, fourth floor mech and MOBA games. Oh, that's awesome. That means for like Gundam and all that. And there's racing sport games and then rhythm games on the 6th floor. That is dope. I like that, yo.
your MOBA players are all on one floor, while your retro platformers and casual Mario Kart enthusiasts are somewhere else, and the DDR pros have their own prized
Wait, why
displays
is there
of top
fighting games
building.
on
But before we can
2
ascend to the
floors?
highest of heights, we started down in the lobby, where Rin introduced me to Kawara, a Japanese gaming YouTuber who gave us the scoop on being a gamer in the city. Why do you think video games and game centers and arcades are so popular in Japan?
For game centers, especially because they release new games here and you can only play it here, so it's a way to bring people together and people will tend to come here. And on top of that, feel a sense of community and be able to kind of play together and be with like-minded people.
Do you have a favorite game of all time?
一番もう大好きなゲーム。
Earthbound.
Earthbound, Mother! Yes!
Mother.
Yeah, mine too!
Yeah.
Yes! Yes! That's awesome!
I need to play Mother. Shoot, I need to play that.
Games are a communication tool per se. So even if you guys don't even know each other, you guys can connect through a love of games. And especially in this situation right now, you guys are friends now.
Man, look at these claw machines.
It's a communication tool for him.
Right.
Yeah.
But it begs a
Look at
pretty
these
good
claw
question.
machines, dude.
Communication tool for Kawara, then why is he
These
hiding
look
himself
better than the ones in America.
It might be a little bit strange for people outside of Japan, but there is a culture of wearing masks here, and it's pretty much accepted as well. And especially for the gaming community, people wear the mask because they usually have different jobs as well. So that's to kind of protect themselves and separate themselves from their normal daily jobs and their gamer jobs.
Right.
So that's why he is
Well,
wearing this.
And the controller is super cool.
ちなみにここ押せるんですよ。
You can touch it. You can
Oh, you can actually
Oh,
like,
wow.
press the buttons,
Yeah.
too. The idea of having to hide the fact that you're a hardcore gamer or that you game online at all is just something that's totally foreign to me coming from the US.
Right.
Most YouTube gamers I know are just trying to compete to see who can have the most ridiculous hair color. But it
Yeah.
really hammered home for me how passionate the players are in Japan and how important it
Yeah.
is that they would risk their day jobs just to do it. And according to Kawara, the reason for the secrecy might go back to some very serious, very historical roots.
そこは
It could be from the mentality during the wartime where you have this duty to kind of only stick to one thing and one thing only. And so this has carried on into the companies as well, where a lot of the companies will say you can't have a second job.
So I went
Wow.
back and did some research.
Wow.
What he says is backed up by history. Japanese work culture traditionally reflects a lifetime employment model that goes all the way back to the World Wars and beyond, where employers and employees commit to each other for life. You are literally marrying your job. To this day, you can still see that kind of culture in Japan's super long working hours. And the fact that it's not cool for employees like Kawara to have a little hustle on the side, that little side business called YouTube. So, shall we go play some
Wow.
games?
なんかまた
So I'm sorry to pause the, keep on the video. It's that this is just blowing my mind. So in Japan, if you had one job, that was it. That was your your main bread and butter. And if it and you can't have separate types of stuff. And if you did, you would have to well, I guess wear that mask to show yourself and what you do, respect, separate the two. That's crazy. I can't wrap my head around that. I mean, I understand it and respect it, but that's just really something. Wow.
遊ぼう。
Okay. Let's do it. Here, let's go on up.
Okay. ここ。
Use that 360 cam. 360 up the sphere. Hey, gonna go play. But enough talk, it was time to game. To start off, we tried our hands at My Mind, a Sega game that I wish had made it to the US already. It's basically DDR with a touchscreen. Just get ready to have some sweaty palms.
Yes, this needs to come. It probably will never will though.
When you watch other people play,
Yeah.
We're not good enough to have that, you know.
That's why it's really interesting to watch.
Half the stuff
Even
that
though
Japan
Kawara and I
has,
weren't able to
we
talk
don't
about
deserve
it,
to
the
have,
three of us
yo.
were able to communicate through parallel play, getting a chance to bond over the fact that I couldn't read any of the controls, or that none of us could pass a level on normal mode.
Oh
He
man.
says that what he loves about games and what's the greatest draw about games is that he can communicate and use it as a tool of communication with other people.
The game ended, Kuwara won, and I lost. And not just in the game either. I also lost when it came to speaking Japanese.
You beat me.
First!
Yeah, I got second.
Oh! What is congratulations?
よくできました。おめでとう。おめでとう。
よくできました。
よくできました。It's like good job. Means good job. Good job.
Here, let me try.
Next, we stepped up to Yubi, another rhythm-based precision game. We fared a little bit better this time and graduated to some co-op gameplay. Can't say that we did stellar, but for being my first time, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, there it is. See? It's okay. It's okay.
But the ultimate test of our communication was still coming up with Konami's Sound Voltex.
Oh,
If
man.
you've played some intense arcade games, you ain't seen nothing until you've tried this beast. It's supposed to make you feel like a DJ. You press some buttons, you turn some knobs. I was like, oh yeah, sure, this shouldn't be that hard.
Oh, yeah.
No. I
No.
could not have been more wrong.
Still have not cleared a single song.
Yeah.
All right. No. Novice level 6. It's still level 6.
We ended up with all three of us trying to make it through a single easy mode level working together at the same time. This is supposed to be a single player game. Parallel play be damned. This was work together or die trying.
Wow.
I think the only way we're able to pass a beginner level on this game is by all of us working together.
Yes.
That is crazy.
Got it, Rin Rin.
I'm saying it again. We could not have games like this in the US because we don't know what to do with it. We want to know what to do with it.
Alright, so maybe there's a reason these machines haven't made it to the US yet. You'd see players crying on the floor in front
Yeah.
of them. So hard. It was so intense that I had to ask Kuwara if he could explain to me why these games are so difficult.
So the games now kind of matches the personalities for Japanese people because they like to work on things slowly and work to a higher level, and that's just like matches the Japanese character very well. Like it's ingrained in every person.
We saw a lot of that disciplined, achievement-focused mentality with Kendo. But to test that theory, I had to take...
Yeah, because if shit was easy, then it wouldn't be great to accomplish, you know?
My first stop was to the father of arcade gaming in Japan, Konami. The Konami
Oh,
team not only makes
man.
the games that we played, they also have some insane players working in their headquarters, who they brought out to, show me how it should be done.
They just pop up. There's so many buttons. What? They're just coming out of everywhere.
They even had someone who could actually play Sound Voltex. And by play, I really mean do some kind of impossible finger magic that somehow resulted in him perfecting the hardest level on hard mode.
What?
I couldn't even. Look at the footage that you are seeing in the sphere right now.
He's doing 6 things with his hands at the same time.
Crazy.
He's had some time with this.
Yes!
He worked hard with that. Forget that.
Once I had been sufficiently put in my place as a gamer, we sat down and talked about what makes arcade gaming in Japan so special.
The difference between a good arcade game
Yoshitaka.
and a good video game.
Game centers are places where you can be seen by many people. So when you play music games at home or when you play at a game center, the feeling of excitement is very different.
He also confirmed what Kuwara told us, that in Japan, if you're gonna do something, you work hard at it. Which
Right.
is how you get players who are so amazing at these kinds of games.
This is my personal opinion, but Japanese people like the challenge. They like making an effort. So many people practice in order to play.
But before I left Konami, I had to redeem at least some of my gamer cred. So I partnered up with one of their employees for a little DDR versus action.
Yeah, no! Oh,
And guess what? I actually won. I beat the Konami expert in DDR. It might have been the only game I won that day, but I think it won me a couple of honor points back. My last stop was at Bandai Namco, another giant in the world of gaming, but especially in the world
He went to
of
Namco. Oh my god.
Besides making some of my favorite games of all time, Dark Souls, they also make a game that looked awfully familiar to something I'd experienced.
Oh, I've seen this.
Remember those ceremonial drums from yesterday? Well, it turns out I can take home a set of my own in video game form.
I saw these at Otakon.
I actually actually got the chance to meet the creator of Bandai's Taiko drum game and play a couple rounds with him. But don't let him fool you. Yeah, sure, he looks like he's just relaxing, but underneath that nerd next door face is a lean, mean competitor. So yeah, I lost. Again. But we were drumming to the Pac-Man theme. He had home field advantage.
What kind of prompted you to think that this would make a really good arcade game?
そうですね。非常にシン
Since drums are something that everybody knows in Japan, he thought that if we could place it in the game center, people just instinctively pick up the stick and then start hitting it. Drums are
Smart.
traditionally played in festivals in Japan, especially summer festivals. And whenever we hear the sounds of drum, the kids are like, oh, it's a festival, we should go. But they never really get the chance to play it, actually, with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they relate more to it now that they actually get a chance to play it through the arcade game.
Yeah.
In the middle of our playing, I asked him what makes Japanese games so unique.
Basically, we're very serious. We like to hone our skills. Let's say, like, for example, kendo. A bit of a perfectionist. So that's one of the reasons I just like to practice hard and do the best job that we can do.
You hear that? Kendo! That was completely unsolicited. He called out Japan's cultural heritage of activities like kendo being a root cause of rhythm games being so popular. Theory confirmed. Before we left for good, I got a chance to ask him what was probably the most important question of all.
Why do you make games? Why
Right.
are you so excited to make games like this that the whole world can play?
自分自身が
He just basically wants to make the world a more fun and better place with games.
With games like this and all the other games that Bandai creates, I think you're doing a good job of it.
And that could have been a pretty awesome way to end the day. But before I
Right.
left Tokyo, I hit up one more place, just for fun, that embodies pretty much everything you can imagine about fusing Japanese culture with modern insanity. The Robot Restaurant. It's a hidden gem smack in the middle of the red light district, right next to an adult movie store and some other places that are way too adventurous for me. But walking down the street, you can't miss it. It blasts its theme song so loud, and it's a theme song that is literally the catchiest tune ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, try getting that one out of your head. When you walk in, you're taken into a lobby, and it's like walking onto another planet. It's a room on par with something Nyan Cat would poop out. Golden conch shell chairs, bad green screen videos playing on giant TVs, and fake crystals covering every surface.
You have a ceiling
Wow.
that's vomiting rainbows. You have hot pink velour everywhere, mirrored walls, and a Japanese singer who's singing Sia. And Miley Cyrus, being backed by instrumentalists who are dressed like robots. This is like a fever dream on LSD.
When the stormtroopers
That's
wrapped
dope.
up their rendition of Wrecking Ball,
That's
you
dope.
knew it was showtime, leading us underground for what ended up being the strangest, most incredible performance I've
Oh,
ever seen.
man. Oh! Oh, that was awesome. Oh, it ain't even over yet.
It was also a huge, and I mean huge, fire hazard, but I'm just gonna ignore that part. And while girls in bikinis dressed like Power Ranger villains fired Gatling guns at robotic sharks, and a green Harambe flew in from a spark-spewing moth, I was able to see modern Japan fused with traditional Japan. Sure, there was the traditional taiko drum, but it was lined with neon lights and playing Michael Jackson. Yeah, there was Shinto and Buddhist imagery brought to life in the form of giant RC robots. To use the metaphor
Whoa.
Rinrin said before, it was a 2.5D experience unlike anything I had ever seen before. And that was the big finale to our theorist trip to Japan. So that leaves us with the big questions. Why arcades and why rhythm games? Well, places like Akihabara are set aside as a part of Tokyo to celebrate a culture
Oh,
of gaming
man,
in a
that is
country where
dope.
Isn't always the easiest to come
That's
by.
so
Game centers
dope.
allow the young and the old of Japan to be there, parallel playing, being a part of a larger community just by being in the same room. And as for the rhythm games themselves, what I took away from this trip is that you can find gaming everywhere, from the precision and discipline of kendo to the meditation through motion of Shinto and Buddhist rituals. In short, Japan's arcade scene totally reflects elements that are present everywhere in the broader culture. And because people in the country are so dedicated to practice, precision, and mastery, you get the most incredible players and the most incredible and frustrating games too. So a huge thanks to all the help we had doing this episode. I've had this project in mind for a long time. So if you liked it, let me know. We did it in 360 so that way you could be there standing alongside us at all these different locations. But hey, if you'd like it better as a flat video, let us know. Or if you just don't like it at all, let me know that too, because this was a lot of work. So it'd be good to know if I'm wasting my time. All right, and last but
No, you're not
certainly
wasting your
least,
time.
let me know what other places you'd like the global gamer to explore.
You're
The
not
world is a
wasting your
big
time.
place, and there are plenty of opportunities to game. And with that, I leave you with more Robot Restaurant. Because seriously, WTF am I looking at right now? Look at this! Look at that! Do you see this? Crazy!
This show is dope. Oh my god. That was the greatest little show I've ever seen. That was incredible. That was incredible. And on top of that, the what was I getting ready to say? The arcade games and all that. I didn't know they had a whole like sections of floors in one building where it was just separated, like fighting games to sports games to dancing games to dance rhythm games to claw machine games and all that. That was so freaking dope. I love this whole video. MatPat, shout out to you for doing this these two parts of you exploring Japan. This was honestly the icing on the cake as to why I need and seriously want to go to Japan. Oh man, I gotta go there. I seriously gotta go there, and I hope I get to do that one of these days. So anyway, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please show your support down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I am now 51 subscribers in total, and the next goal is to get to 100, and I'm gonna reach that goal pretty soon. And I hope that I get to share it with all of you guys. So then, this has been the Real Sakurai. See you next time. Peace.